Welcome to a new episode of Depreciation Nation. We are actually filming today out of Terre Haute, Indiana. We've taken you there a few times, and if you're finding us for the first time, welcome. And if you've been following us for some time, welcome back. Now, behind me and beside me, you will see Will and Will's F-150 Lightning, which is a 99. But before we go any further, why don't you hit that subscribe button at the bottom of your screen if you enjoy eclectic automotive content. So, Will, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks, Kyle.
And Will's going to let us take this out and drive it, and we are going to give you driving impressions of it. But before we get there, tell us about your truck.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is Josephine, that's her name. It's a 1999 Ford Lightning. It's the first year of the second generation.
Awesome.
Yeah, so they made 4,000 that year, and she is number 1,342 to roll off the assembly line. So,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
How many miles is on it?
57,000 miles.
57,000 miles. So this is relatively a new truck.
Yeah. My 2020 Altima has more miles than this does.
Nice. Now, again, I like to bring cars that fascinated with me when they came out. When this car came out, I was 19 and I was in love with this. Now, this was predated, as previously mentioned, by the first gen Ford Lightning, but the second gen got a little bit better with a lot more power.
Absolutely.
We threw on a supercharger, which we hope you're going to get to hear. And as I said, we are going to take this for a ride. So, tell us about the specs.
So yeah, it's a 99. They made this truck from 99 to 2004. They made just a little over 28,000 of them.
Okay.
For the first 2 years were 360 horsepower and then 440 pounds-feet of torque.
Okay.
And then they added a little more horsepower for the later years, only 20 extra horsepower by just doing a set of different gears in it. So,
okay.
But as far as how she is bone stock under the hood. I did just put in a set of MSD coils last night. So she does like that extra spark.
Well,
but other than that, she's stock.
We'll have an opportunity to find out here in just a moment. Now, the reason we are featuring this is because I actually met Will last year at the Gears and Grunts car show, and we have been talking via Facebook Messenger for the last year, trying to get together to film this vehicle. I am forecasting this to potentially be a six-figure vehicle at some point in time, because the people that are our age that couldn't afford them when they came out and had love for them now have money to play. So we're going to take it for a ride. We are going to tell you how it feels, which is one of the things we love those opportunities to bring to our audience. So let's go for a ride.
Sounds good. Let's go.
So here we are in Will's Lightning, and I am not going to lie, this is the first time that I have ever been in a Lightning. And Will is riding in the passenger seat, just in case anybody wondered, or you hear him talk. But the first thing I noticed is that the steering is heavy, and I know that I mention that every time we get in a car that is of this vintage, and I always talk about how weighted steering is nice. And if you have only driven modern cars, you're gonna think it's heavy. And it is just so nice to have that feel and that feedback and to understand where the grip on your front tires is. And that is something that, as cars have become more advanced and technological, that they have removed because they put the electric power steering on a lot of vehicles, and the steering is light, but you have no feel, and you can't feel where your front end is. And BMW has gotten better at it, Audi has perfected it, and Hyundai is getting a little bit better at it. But I cannot stress enough how much I love heavy steering. The other thing, if you've watched our channel, that I talk about over and over and over again is how much I like buttons and how much I hate touch screens in all of the newer cars. And because this is a Ford, and because this is 23 years old? 23-year-old Ford, I have buttons everywhere. Of course, I don't have a lot of things that I can do, but I have buttons, and I absolutely love that. Steering wheel tilt?
Yeah.
Okay, does it go up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Full torque.
There we go. We currently have 57,487 miles on this. If you forget what you are in, there's an SVT on the tach, and then there is a boost gauge for the supercharger. Exhaust is side exit, single exhaust, and it sounds awesome. Now, Will was giving me the full experience in this truck on the way here, and it moves. It moves. And that supercharger is addictive.
Yes.
Yeah, because we watch the gas gauge go down every time we get on boost.
It's called smiles per gallon.
Otherwise, it's smooth. It's comfortable. The seats are fantastic. Now, you had mentioned that your wife isn't so fond of it.
She loves the truck. She just doesn't like getting startled in it.
And it is difficult not to startle people because it can do that. And the wheels spin the entire freaking time. Now, what's really interesting about this is if you followed the channel, we've done a lot of high horsepower cars, and this, by today's terms, only has 360 horsepower, but it is more than enough, and every time you hit the gas, you get a big stupid smile on your face. Now, what is interesting about this is how predictable the handling is, and how when it does spin those rear tires, it continues to track straight. You can make it go sideways.
Oh yeah.
But like that. And it's fast. 0 to 60 was like what? 5.4?
Yeah.
5.4 seconds, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. It's nice being in the passenger seat. Experiencing it.
But even then, it was predictable.
Absolutely, yeah.
It drives more like a car than a truck. I didn't really anticipate that.
It does.
And it's not slow. It's not slow.
She's fun.
Yeah. Is it terrifying when somebody else is driving your car?
Not at all. Not at all. She goes pretty good at 50, just so you know.
Yeah.
That when you're at 50, if you give it all she's got, give it full send at 50, you'll feel
Okay.
nice.
We'll give that a shot here in a moment. We're going to go on this bypass, if that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Now, it's funny because every time I get in another car, I'm like, I would like to own this. But again, if you follow the channel, you'd realize there'd be 30 or 40 cars by now, and I can't keep all of those. However, the one thing that I consistently look for and I consistently hammer at is I need some sort of a truck, and this wasn't a tow truck, but I need some sort of a truck to pull the terrible cars that I buy, and to have some utility would be nice. And honestly, this is a lot more comfortable than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Good visibility. Like, this is everything that new cars are missing. I can see everything. The mirrors are perfect. The back window is perfect. Now tell us about the first one.
So the first one was purchased in 2005, same year, same color as this one, and I hydroplaned on a highway here in town, and went through a utility pole, flipped end over end, and bounced off 2 trees, broke my back, broke my hip, and I had a lacerated spleen. My airbag didn't deploy, so I hit the steering wheel so hard that I bent the steering wheel and broke my face.
Wow.
That wreck is actually what ended up causing my wife and I to get back together. We were had dated for several years, and she came rushing to my side in the hospital, and been together ever since.
And she let you get another one.
She let me get another one. 4 kids later and 16 years later, but it's still happening. Still happening.
All right, here's 50. So I've driven a lot of high horsepower cars, and we always laugh at all the high horsepower cars, but like, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
This is pretty awesome.
Glad you're enjoying it. Puts a smile on my face every day I drive it.
It's beautiful too. So we were just at the Gears and Grunts car show, Terre Haute, Indiana, at Top Guns, and Will came back this year with a cut and polish on the truck, and as you've seen in some of the clips that we've shown, there's not a mark on it.
A lot of sweat.
I
went into that.
I completely understand. You haven't seen some of my terrible cars that aren't so terrible anymore. So yeah, that's the truck. If you're interested, buy one now, because you won't be able to afford one much longer. So that's Will's 99 Ford Lightning. Now, we were talking prior to filming, and he had indicated that he is guesstimating that with a half tank of gas and him in the vehicle, that curb weight is roughly right around 5,200 pounds. With both of us, we're gonna make that 5,400 pounds. And let me tell you, the truck still scoots. So, if you like performance, you like a little bit of utility, you like the ability to drive your performance vehicle to Home Depot, we'll say, this might be the truck for you. And if you're like me, and you've always wanted one, buy one now, because I believe that these are going to rise in value to the point where purchasing one may not be as feasible as it is right now. So, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button at the bottom of your screen, and we'll talk to you soon.